TCT Crafts. Thank you so much for stopping by our channel today. So today we are going to be making a beautiful fall sunflower grapevine design. So isn't this just gorgeous? Perfect for fall. We've got our blues, our beautiful yellow sunflowers. So this is what we're going to be designing today. I hope you guys enjoy. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do so. We have tutorials that are coming out weekly. In July, we've got some fun. We're going to mix it up, Halloween, fall, and a little bit of Christmas. Hope you guys enjoy. Hi guys, Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Today we are going to do a fall sunflower grapevine design. So I made a post kind of getting a feel for what you guys wanted to see, and it really was just kind of a mix of everything, but a lot of you had said you would like to see a fall grapevine design. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I am starting with a 14-inch round grapevine. I've added a little hanger up here, and so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do a few things down on this table, and then I'll put it on the stand and we'll finish it out on the wreath stand. So let's get started. So we're going to start with some ficus leaves. So I am just going to cut some of these off. These are not my favorite to work with, but they do add good coverage when you're working with grapevines. So we're just going to add a few of them just to kind of set our perimeter on our grapevine. So I'm going to cut this down. Let's see, this one I may cut in two. So we're just going to kind of get our perimeter started, kind of where we want. I know I want, so I typically do my grapevines a lot the same way. I typically will decorate the left side and I will leave the right side open. Not always, but that's generally my recipe. So we're just going to stick with that for today. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this little piece of ficus. I'm going to dip it in my glue pot and just weave it down in that grapevine. So we're going to set our perimeter, we'll add our bow, and then we will put it on the stand and add all of the other good stuff to it. So I am just weaving it down in that grapevine. I'm not going straight through the grapevine. So let me show you what I mean by that. In case you're new to working on grapevines, if you're inexperienced, you can just fast forward through this part. But if you're new to working for grapevines, when you're sticking your product in, you don't want to stick it straight in because you're going to have this part sticking out of your grapevine. So you want to weave it in the flow of the grapevine so that you don't see that. Of course you can see it here, but if you were just sticking it through the flow, you won't see it coming out the back. So that's what I mean by that. Okay, so I know I want my transition. I think I'm going to do a bow like about right here. So I have everything from the transition point going this way. Now I'm going to have a bow and everything else is going to flow down. And I do want to add a little bit of length to this design. So I'm going to come down a little bit. This 14-inch grapevine is going to be much larger by the time we get done with it. So you see these small ones, don't think you can't make big wreaths with them, because you definitely can. So I want to give this some length. So again, I'm just weaving it right through there. Okay, so we're coming down. I'm going to fill this part out a little bit and also bring some length. So we're going to go ahead and cut up one more of these. take one of these longer pieces because I want length on the bottom. Just gonna stick it up just like that. So straight up into that grapevine. Straight up into that grapevine. Okay. Just like that. So not quite straight, I gave it just a little bit of a bend. So we want to kind of make that curve. We've got one more piece there. I'm going to have it a little bit so that we've kind of got our curve, but we've got some length as well. These are good because you can just bend them how you want them. Got one little piece, and I think I'm going to come straight out here because we have a little hole, and this is where our bow is going to be. So just going to give a little bit of that behind our bow. So we've created our base all the way around and down, giving it some length. So let's go ahead and make our bow. I just want to do a simple bow right here. So let's do that before we hang it up on our easel. I'm going to get my easy bow maker. You're good at hand bows, go right ahead. So I'm just going to use some sunflower ribbon. It's on like a burlap. So I've had this forever, probably 3 years, probably right after I started making wreaths. So I'm going to give this, I want to keep the tail longer and we can trim it if we need to. So I left a pretty long tail. Just going to pinch, twist, put it in there, and I think I want 6-inch loops. Let's do 6.5 inch loops. Pinch. And I think I'm going to do a double loop with this ribbon. So I'm just going to do 2. And then we'll do 1 loop of our 1.5 inch. Okay, so let me just kind of fluff these a little bit. So we just made an X. 2 loops on each side. And then we'll fill in right in the middle with our 1.5. I know I got my scissors out over there. Okay, and we have just a little bit, but we won't be using it. I'll save it for something else. Probably have enough to make one small 2-loop though. Or, a single loop. 1 loop on each side is probably all I got. Okay, now I'm going to take this blue and white gingham. So we're going to bring in blue and yellow sunflower. It's going to be really pretty. I love the blue and yellow color combination. Perfect for fall time. Okay, so we're going to go about 5.5 on this one. 5.5 on this side. Just scrunch it down there in the middle. I'll leave my tails long and then we'll trim them how we need them. that's all the ribbon we're going to use. I almost did it without a bow, but I saw this blue gingham and I thought that would be pretty. So I went ahead and decided to add the bow, but we almost made this without a bow. Need to bring some more long zip ties back up here. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my zip tie, feed it under, make sure it's in the center, kind of fluff my little loops up, and then take my other zip tie, just go right in the back. Make sure these loops are the same size, and I need to pull this just a hair. There we go. Now cinch it really tight. All right. So let's get our bow added, and then we'll pause. I'll put it up on the easel. And we'll finish it out on the easel. Just kind of straightening these little loops a little bit. I think I need to pull this just a hair. There we go. That's better. Okay, so let's go ahead. We know this was our transition point. So we're going to add our bow right in here. And I just fed that zip tie right through those grapevine pieces and pulled it really tight, and then going to clip it off. So now we have our base with our bow. We'll worry about the tails later. Now let's start filling it in. So I'm going to pause. Let's get out the easel and we'll finish. Okay, we have you guys back up on the easel, and let's finish embellishing this wreath. So I'm going to start with these fun little yellow grass sprays. We're going to add at least one of these. They are a little messy. These little things that they make these with kind of fall off, so but that's okay. So I'm going to cut this up. Let me get out of the camera way so you guys don't have to see my head. Okay. And I dropped one on the floor. So this is going to help give it some height, some motion. So let's start, and let's just put one right there. Let me move the camera down just a hair so you guys can see, or move it up, I guess. Up. There we go. Is that better? There you go. Okay, so now you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to dip it in my glue. And we're just going straight down in that grapevine. So we've got some height going on there now. This one. We're going to kind of give it a little bit of a curve so that we can continue with our C shape. So I'm weaving it through that grapevine. Again, not straight through it. I'm actually going into the grapevine, not straight through the, like I showed you earlier. Okay. Now I'm giving this one a bend. We're going to kind of come down with it. Okay. We kind of got a hole right here, so I think we need to put another one back here, if I can get it in there right. Okay, now we're going to start coming around. I want this one a little shorter, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Okay. And again, I want this a little shorter because I don't want it, we're going on the side of the wreath, so we want height up here, but over here, I don't want it, I want it balanced, right? Not too far sticking out. We need one right here, fill in that little hole. And this looks like a wild hot mess now, but once we get everything added, I think it'll be pretty. Give it sort of some movement, a little wildness to it. I'm going to cut this one a little shorter. And now we're starting to go down because we're at our transition point. So we're going to start to go down with it. Let's do one right kind of underneath the bow. And you can kind of weave it in around those ficus. Like it's kind of all grown together there. And we need right here, we have a hole, so let's add another piece right in there. There we go. I still want that length, so this one I'm not going to cut. And we're going to weave it. Again, we'll just kind of weave those in there with that ficus. So let's get one more. So we'll probably use about 1.5 of these. Cut up a couple more pieces. Okay, let's get one coming in this way. Perfect. Let's maybe do one more in towards the back, straight up and down, just like we did that other one, straight up and down, kind of back to give it a little bit of length there in the back. And I just got glue all over this little stem. I'm just going to cut it off. There we go. So we've got more of this at the end if we need to fill it in, but for now let's move on to our next item. And let's go ahead and add our sunflowers so we can see the placement on those. We have these really pretty sunflower bushes in the shop. So I'm going to cut these into pieces. I'm going to leave this clustered together. So I have one that I left together. And I think I want it to kind of come out this way, right there. Perfect. And I like how that's just kind of sticking out there. It's not straight against the wreath. So we don't have it like right here. That's okay to do in some cases, but I also like to have it kind of have some movement. So this one, let's add it right in here. And you can bend these and have them go in the direction that you want them. Okay. And now let's see, I want one right behind this bow. Kind of like that. Get it down into that grapevine where I want it. Got one of these Ficus Leaves that's quite neat. Alright, let's start over. I don't like the way this is going in there. I'm going to cut this little leaf out. And see if that helps me get it where I want it. Cut that stem just a little bit. Try this again. I just dripped glue on my hand. That was very hot. Okay, perfect. That worked out better. Yowie! We'll mess with our tails in a little bit. Okay. Let's get another bush. So I brought 3 of these. So we have plenty of sunflowers. since they're kind of the star of the show. This is sunflower wreath. Okay, so now I know I want the cluster. Maybe coming down. I want to make sure we have enough for the bottom. Which we should. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this one in there. Okay, let's get this one glued in. All right, so we have one more sunflower bush. I'm going to keep this one, let's leave it a little bit longer. So that we can come down with it. We're going straight up the middle, just like we did on those other pieces. Moving it straight up the center. Okay, let's take this one and come in to the side. Okay, I've got one little piece. Let me see. I almost think we need one kind of back behind the bow, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I'm going to cut this a little shorter. And let's go back behind the bow. Back there. Perfect. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We have all of our sunflowers in place. Now let's work on our next element. So we're going to bring in a little bit of the blue. I have this, what is it? It's a mini blossom and seed bush. So let's add a little bit of this. Okay, cut some of these up. Now, I'll be honest, these are not my favorite stems, but they had the blue and the yellow in them, so we're going to make it work. But they're not my favorite. So I'm going to cut this down. tuck in. Start tucking them in. I'm just going to kind of go down, up, middle, down, up, just kind of, you know, scatter them throughout, bringing in some of that blue color. And I'm cutting them down so they're not super long. Remember, everything above our bow we're going up. Okay. This one kind of out to the side. So they don't look that bad once you get them worked in. If you have another floral bush with the blue, definitely substitute. Okay, now we're going to start going down because we're at a transition point. I think I'm going to need one more blue kind of coming out a little bit. So let's get that added right behind this bow. There we go. Okay, now we're starting to go down. And I will leave some longer pieces down here since we added our length. Just kind of weave them in. I do need a little piece that's coming out this way. Not quite as long, but longer than those shorter pieces we had. There we go. Okay. We have one more sunflower. It was hiding. I think it needs to go here. There we go. All right, let's get another couple stems of this blue. And again, I'm going to go straight up so that that hangs down. Going straight up. I'm trying to make sure it's not come out the back of my grapevine. And it did. Let me add some more blue and we'll do that again. There we go. Okay. Now our sword goes in sideways. And we'll add a piece over there. again, kind of coming down a little bit there in the back. There we go. Okay, so we've got more of this if we need it. Let's go ahead and set it aside. We have a few more things we're going to add. So I brought in some of these blue. These came from, I think it was Michael's several years ago. So I've had them in my stash and trying to get rid of stuff, and I thought this would be perfect to add in this wreath. Bring in some more of that blue. I'm not a big fan of the leaves on here, but I will make it work. It's going to get covered up by all the other things that we're going to be adding, so I think it'll be good. But we can always just cut them and not even have the leaves. Let's do that. So now we just have these little pops of blue that we can kind of weave in. Going back behind, kind of going up, giving it some height back there with that yellow. Doing some in the center. Okay, let's cut up another one. Just kind of filling in holes. I mean, there's no like recipe per se of where we're putting it. Just kind of going around, placing them here and there, filling in some holes. Now we're at our transition point, so we're going to start kind of going down. I'm going to add one right up under this bow. I'm going to add one right behind that flower. Easier said than done sometimes. There we go. Okay, cut up the rest of these because we'll just go ahead and use them all. Hanging some down. Now these are a little shorter, but that's okay. Still going to be a nice little filler in there. We need one coming out this way. See a spot right here. I want to fill in on the side while I'm here. Have some hanging down. Let's do another one sort of hanging down to the side a little bit. One more piece. Let me kind of step back and see. Maybe right in here. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut our tails and get those trimmed. I'm gonna cut this one about right here. And leave this one a little bit longer. Want, you can take and curl those a little bit. Got glue all over my fingers. Okay. All right. So now let's bring in a little bit of this natural color. Let's use our natural gypso bush. Bring in a little bit of that color. So I'm going to break this into 3 sections. Trying to find a good, we're running out of real estate in there with this grapevine. Trying to find a good spot to add it. And cut it down just a little bit more. Let's see if I can get it in right there. Yep. So once it's in, you can take and sort of maneuver them behind and around. Okay. Let's get another piece. We're going to go back behind. Still going up because we're still above our bow. And then we can just take and move these how we want them. Just growing all over the place in there. Okay, let's get another one and we'll start continuing to go down the side. I think we may add one little piece right under there. I think we need to go back here, but I don't think I need that much, so let's just take a little bit. Just take a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now let's take a shorter piece. I'm gonna cut this shorter to kind of come to the side. Yeah, that was hot. I have not done good today, guys, on keeping my fingers out of the food. Some days are better than others. Today is not my day. Okay, we still need a little piece right there. Kind of got a hole. There we go. That is more better. More better. Go right up underneath this bow. We are transitioning down. Got a spot right here that needs a piece. Okay. I left this piece kind of long. I don't think we need it that long. So we can go straight up the middle again. Give it some length down there. Okay. Now let's get our last one. I'm not standing like right in front of this, I'm kind of off to the side. It's a little harder to tell if we got any holes. So when I get ready to take pictures, if I see anything, I'll fix it. This one I'm going to cut up. Another piece coming under this bow. Let's do this side. We need some back here. I think we need some right there. Trying to get out of y'all's way so you're not seeing my head. And see, I think we need a longer piece right there. So right up in this area. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I've got a couple pieces I'm going to save for when I need to do some filler. And I have these little blue berries. They also came from Michael's, I think last year. So let's add a few of these in. Just going to pull them apart. This will help, these little berries will help kind of fill in some of the holes in our grapevine where you might see stuff kind of, we're going to get this a little closer to the grapevine. So it'll kind of hide some of our mechanics a little bit, I guess is what you're trying to say. So kind of where you're seeing some of the stems come together, this is going to help hide those. So like I see right in here, we've got some stems where you can kind of see where they're all coming and being glued together. So we're going to add some of these kind of close to the wreath. One right back here. Let's do one right behind the bow here. We'll have to refluff our bow again. I should have known better than to try to do it before, because I'm going to mess it up. So we'll mess with the bow in a minute. One more piece. Trying to see if I want it back here or if I want it more back behind the bow. Let's see. Let's keep it back behind the bow. Okay, so I had brought some of these branches, but I don't think that we need them. So let's just save those for something else. And then I have a little bit of boxwood that I like to use sometimes just to go right around the grapevine and again cover up some of our mechanics. So let's see if we need to add any of this. Just to kind of fill in right around the grapevine, just to kind of help hide some of the mechanics we got going on there. And you definitely don't have to add this, it's just an extra little step. I'm going right around the base. Right around the base of this. And adding a few of these. On the sides, kind of giving our bow a little bit of fullness behind it. I'll probably leave this one a little bit longer coming out. Is getting stuck on a leaf. There we go. Because I am not by any means a grapevine expert. I know enough to be dangerous, but there are definitely some other artists out there who really specialize in grapevines that make just absolutely gorgeous designs. Khalees is one of them. But I do try, you know, I try to mix it up. Not everybody likes the deco mesh. I just need to practice a little bit more, do more of them, I think, and I'll get a little bit more comfortable doing them. But this is definitely not my specialty by any means, but I think it still's turning out pretty, so. And I need a little bit more of that this side right here, which I did not bring. So just to know, before I take the picture, I'm going to add just a little bit, a couple more pieces of this boxwood right behind this section because I ran out. I kind of stopped right here. So I'm going to add a couple more pieces right there. And I'll fluff out our bow again. I'm going to go and hang it up for pictures and see if there's any holes that I need to fill in. So when you're standing back taking pictures, you always want to look, kind of see if there's any little spots. When you're designing, sometimes you miss them, but take a photo and then go back and look at that photo, and you'll definitely kind of see some things that maybe you need to add or change. So I've got a couple pieces of the natural left. I have a few pieces of the blue left, and then I'm going to get one more bushel of that boxwood and just kind of fill in on the side. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, bye y'all.